Hello, welcome to another episode of Conversations with a Martial Artist. We're at episode 24 today, and I am with Nathan Jones, aka Mr. Bag and Tag. Nathan is a professional MMA fighter. He is the current welterweight champion for Fightstar Championships here in the UK. He's got an upcoming fight in just about a week or so when this comes out, which will be a fantastic fight. You'll be able to buy tickets. You'll hear some links in the description as well, but you'll hear him talk about it. But he's a kickboxing and Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. He is an MMA coach at Elevate Richmond, a fantastic gym I had the pleasure of visiting. Really interesting guy, funny. We have a good conversation. We cover loads of different topics, loads of interesting takes. If you're an aspiring fighter, if you're interested in martial arts, there's going to be a lot here for you. Before we get started, please do make sure that you subscribe, follow us on Spotify, on YouTube, Instagram. It's all at CWAMA podcast. So please do support the podcast. It's zero cost. Make sure you follow us, like the episode, give it a thumbs up, rate the show, do whatever you can to help support us. In the meantime, I will sit back and let you enjoy the conversation. Okay. Nathan, Mr. Bag and Tag, thank you very much for giving up your time, particularly during a fight camp as well. I know you're only a little ways out now, aren't you?
Yeah, it's two and a half weeks.
Oh, wow.
2.5 weeks and about 10 kilos. So, you got me at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's all the good. Hard bit. Do you typically cut a lot of weight for your...
No, not typically. I'm actually a smaller average welterweight, so enough for it to be an arduous task, but nowhere near as much where it's like dangerous, or life-threatening as some people when they push the limits. It's very dangerous. So, I'm an easygoing kind of guy when it comes to it. Now that I'm, how many fights have I had? 20. This will be my 27th fight.
Blimey, that is.
I think. Yeah, my 27th professional MMA fight. So I've done it a few times now. So.
Yeah, been around the block.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming quite a few AMI fights as well.
Yeah. You put me on the spot now.
Sorry, man.
You know what I mean? No, you're good. I've just got to think about it. So yeah, I've had 5 white collar boxing matches.
Oh, cool.
5 amateur MMA fights, or non-professional, shall I say. Because back in the day, there were semi-professional. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So non-professional fights. I couldn't tell you how many kickboxing competitions and jiu-jitsu competitions I've had as well. But when I started out, I thought I was too old. No, seriously, I thought I was too old. So I was like, right. So I just need to get the experience now. So I just went for it. I was out as often as I could, once a month, sometimes a fortnight, every fortnight, boom. Oh, there's this, there's that. All right, jump on. I was just hungry and thirsty for that knowledge. And I wanted to get it wherever I could, whether it meant training at another gym, jumping on a competition. Literally, my coach was like, Nathan, want to fight? Yeah. When? Who is it? Don't worry about it. Just go, you got this.
Just do it.
Yeah. And literally just went on that grassroots circuit, got used to it, got comfortable with it. Cool, level up. Went to the, competition circuit, the national circuit, and just leveled up. At the same time, I was training, getting ready for my fighting as well. And I used these single discipline competitions as a way of preparation.
That's great.
Yeah, and I still do, whenever I can get to compete, I will compete. Doesn't mean anything to me. It's all feedback. Whether I do well or I don't do well, it's feedback. And for me, that's martial arts. That's the epitome of martial arts. You know what I mean? Learning and progression. To answer your question in a nutshell, I have had some amateur fights.
I've done a few. But I love that, to be fair, because that's actually, you touched on a few things I wanted to ask you about, because there's a lot of interesting things that you said there. First of all, you said you felt you were too old when you started. How old were you when you first got into it?
So when I first started, I was 23. When I stepped into the gym, I was 23. I know I don't look that much older than it.
No.
Thank you.
Gone beautifully. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no. I thought, you look at like footballers or you look at boxers, they're identified for the academies early on and selected early on. So in my head, I thought MMA was the same. And I just thought I was too old, you know. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, if I'm going to do this, let's go. You know what I mean? It's a shelf life sport, you know. And jiu-jitsu, MMA, they see it as an old man sport. You can do it when you're a lot older, yes. But I didn't know that then. So I thought I had literally like, what, 10 years? 10 years to get it. And yeah, I've just been on it and I love it, you know? I love it. I love it with a passion. Eat it, breathe it, shit it. Do you know what I mean? Sleep it and then shit it again. So look, it's great. And I love being a coach because I get to reinforce my learning points, regurgitate these priceless moments. Somebody getting promoted for a belt, somebody winning their first fight. Do you know what I mean? Or you know what? Having to pick somebody up from their loss, but watching them work hard and striving for that win because one, they know that they deserve it. But two, because they earned it. Do you know what I mean? And as a coach, that's priceless. You can't get better than that. Do you know what I mean? So that's another reason why I do what I do. And yeah, I love it, man.
That's good. It is interesting because you meet people and you can see like people that really have that passion for it, and like the classes that you've just battered me in, like you've got that passion, like there's a good vibe to the whole thing, like, and you can see that like you're interested in, like you get it from all these different angles and things like that. Like there's obviously a ton of knowledge. Yeah, so
if you enjoy the classes, my name's Nathan. If you didn't enjoy the classes, my name's Carlos. I'm joking. It's not.
But yeah, it's super interesting that you say that and that you come from that passion place, and the idea of going out and competing like how soon was it between your like walking through the door and your first competition?
3 months.
Nice.
Literally, I was just like, yeah, all right, let's go.
And was that straight MMA? Sorry.
So my first comp was a grappling comp. I just, you know what it was? I don't know. Maybe it's a bit of naivety. Well, it's definitely naive because I don't, you know what I mean? I didn't understand the risks. But another part was just like, it was that dare. I dare you. Go on, Nathan, I dare you. Why I got involved in martial arts was because I didn't want to become a victim. I was subject to bullying throughout my schoolhood years. So in my eyes, what's the worst that could happen? It's a competition. Do you know what I mean? Martial arts, the ref's there, it's safe. Well, there are risks, but it's an organised sport
at the end of the day, isn't it?
Exactly. So in my head, what's the worst that could happen? I've been out on the street, I've been attacked, I've been jumped. Do you know what I mean? Touch wood, I'm safe from it, and it's not going to happen to me again. But then I was just like, oh, well, whatever. And plus, I'm rolling with my coach, I'm rolling with my guys. We train together, we're a team. Like, my coach is not going to go put me there. But, you know what I mean? I had faith in what I was doing. It probably seems a bit like, wait, what's this guy going on about? But I enjoyed it so much that I found something. Even after 3 months, I found something that I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I would, don't get me wrong, I shat myself. When I went to that competition, I was like, oh my God, that guy's big. Am I going against him? Am I going against him? But I was there. I was in that room.
Yeah.
And this is a lot when I'm training my guys and I'm teaching them, it's like, you've got to be in that room. Do you know what I mean? Whether you're, you know, the top guy or the new guy, if you're in that room, you're in that room. Everybody's in that room. So by way of osmosis, you will pick something up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And evolve. And this is what I've had to do when I've gone to travel from gym to gym, travel the world with experiences. You've got to be in that room. You're in that room, like, you'll get that greatness from these great guys will transfer to you. Even if it's like a little bit or a little bit, but each session, time, you'll build up, you know? So look, I'm a martial artist first and foremost. I'm a professional fighter and a badass at that. But I'm a martial artist,
Yeah.
first and foremost.
And I think that comes across because, I mean, obviously you've competed primarily MMA, but you've done so much other stuff, and you competed on some big platforms as well. Like obviously at the moment you're a Fightstar, right?
Yep.
And then I saw you've been Cage Warriors, you've done
Yep.
Polaris, and
Yep.
it's all different disciplines and different skill
Bellator
sets,
as well.
Right? Bellator,
Bama.
there you go, I didn't even know that.
What? Yeah,
Sorry, man. I didn't do better research.
No, look, I've been around the block, and you know, touch wood, I'm still around to tell tale. Touch wood, I've still got a lot more lessons to learn. You know, I reckon I've got one more run for a world title in me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I defend my belt in 3 weeks, and then we'll see what's popping.
Yeah,
But I've still got some life in the old dog yet. You know.
Awesome. And tell us about this fight then. So the one that you got coming up. This is your first defense of this one. Your
Yes.
last fight you won it, didn't you?
Yes. Okay. He has done some research.
I've done a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm fighting Brad Wheeler on the 3rd of August. Fightstar 30, defending my title. It's a good fight. Really good fight. I like the fight for 3 reasons. The first reason I like the fight because Brad, like myself, is very experienced. He's an experienced vet, been on some great shows. So on paper, the fight makes sense. It makes sense because if I beat him, I beat a good guy. If I lose to him, I lose to a good guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At the same time, if there was like a 1-0, 2-0, even a 4-0 prospect, even 5-0, it doesn't look as, you know what I mean, on paper. Or maybe the guy's like a young buck, 18 years old. Why am I going to go fight at 18 years old? Like, not saying that I wouldn't ever.
Yeah.
If it was for some big money or for a big title,
Yeah.
maybe, you know what I mean? But on paper, that fight makes sense, me versus Brad Wheeler. Second of all, it's a title defense. So whoever they put in front of me, I'll fight. Why? Because I'm the champ, and that's what the champ does. Yeah. Kind of thing. And third of all, I've already fought this guy. Fought him in 2018 on Cage Warriors, and I beat him. So I know I can beat him again.
That's pretty helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. What, 6 years? So 6 years is a long time. He's improved, but hey, I've improved. Do you know what I mean? For the things that I said before, you know, martial arts, getting that feedback, being in that training room. I've trained with some great martial artists and been in that room. And like I said, I live, breathe, sleep shit again, martial arts, fighting, competition. You know, I'm ready for this fight, and I will be ready. August the 3rd. Are you coming?
Do you know what? I might just.
That's not a yes, and that's not a no.
It's not a hard yes.
Oh my god!
You're selling it to me now.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll get a yes by the end of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah,
Circle back.
I'm only joking, but no, look, I like the fight, and I think it's a fight for the fans. I'm gonna give it my all, and I know Brad's gonna come and give it his all, and the best man will win. Sorry, the best man, I will win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a good fight.
That is interesting. And I wanted to ask you about your style as well, because I mean, maybe we'll go a bit more into your background as well. But I've noticed, I watched a few of your fights today, like I said, my intensive research.
Yep.
And I noticed.
Wait, did I win the fights?
Most of them.
Most of them. That was a political answer. Cool, we can carry the conversation on.
But I noticed you've got a really interesting style, because you've got, it's almost a pretty classical, like kickboxing-esque style. You throw a lot of unorthodox kicks and things like that with your striking. And I wanted to ask about that with your background, because you don't see that a lot out of like MMA vets.
Yeah. So I started MMA altogether, like blank canvas.
Yeah.
So it was MMA, then I started with jiu-jitsu and with kickboxing.
Yeah.
I was training those single disciplines, and that's just yeah, jiu-jitsu and kickboxing have become my pedigree now. So I'm a black belt in both. And you're right, like not many people have that freestyle kickboxing in them, and that's why I like it. And I love it. I've adapted it to my MMA game, and don't get me wrong, you know, I can still compete kickboxing with kickboxers if that's what, but I have to train for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna just go, yeah, cool, I'm gonna beat you. You're top boy. No, I'll have to train for it specifically to get there. But no, I love kickboxing. I actually got into kickboxing because I had a fight, and obviously when you fight, there's no shin pads, and I got a mouse on my shin, and I couldn't do Thai. I just couldn't do Thai for about 3 to 6 months. Really, it was aggravating me. So I was like, what, kickboxing above the waist? Yeah, cool, let's go. And I just stuck with that, and I enjoyed it and progressed with that, you know. So look, yeah, I love having a style that I can express myself in.
Yeah.
And I believe kickboxing I can. I believe, well, I'm more a light contact and full contact kickboxer. I lean toward the light contact because there's only so many concussions one can have.
Fair enough.
Before you start to go like Brad Wheeler. That's not a dig. That's just fact, Brad.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's gonna walk that back and think, oh my god. Anyway, he is my friend. I don't mind the guy. Look, yeah. So I love kickboxing.
Yeah, because I'm very much the same. I mean, I'm not very good at it, but I very much like the style, and I think it's really interesting. And I like to see it in MMA more. I like to see expressions of like different martial arts come out and see the different flavors of MMA styles. Whereas a lot of the times now, it's almost a bit like blueprint of like, you know, this is how you stand. This is like
no, exactly. Look, styles make fights.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they do. But you're right. MMA's grown and evolved into a sport of this is MMA. This is how you got to do it. So everything becomes the same old. So having a flair, having expression, it looks good. People want to see you. Makes you interested. It's a spectator sport.
Way more entertaining.
If you want to sell tickets like I'm trying to do to Tom here, do you know what I'm saying? You need to have something else about you that makes people want to stop, watch, and listen, or watch. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so look, I'm far from a finished product, a long way away from it. But I have made lots of progress, and I keep wanting to progress, and I think that's what separates the men from the boys with a lot of this. I'm not afraid to put it on the line. I'm not afraid to lose. I'm not afraid to try again, and I'm not afraid to test myself, which comes before losing. Like it's not a thing. It's like, yeah, all right. If I think I'm the man, let's prove it. And that is my thought process. And if I'm not the man, well, then I'm not the man. Do you know what I mean? I have no shame in it, not accepting it, but I have no shame in, all right, cool, go back to the drawing board and get on with it, you know? Because martial arts is hard, but life is harder. You know, and that's why I'm, you know, before I was a fighter, I was a youth worker, but that's why I'm such an advocate for martial arts, especially as a tool to teach young people, because you get to try again. It's not life. It's not real life. You lose, cool. You hurt, cool. Get up, try again. Get back on that mat. Learn from your mistakes. Develop that resilience. Do you know what I mean? Become a winner. Why? Because you have to fight through. You have to persevere. These are life lessons that money can't buy. Yeah. You know, and especially if you've got a good coach that can nurture one's teaching or one's lessons and give you the right correct push at the right time. You know, because everything in doses, and do you know what I mean? You can't just overload someone. You're gonna have to give it at the right time. And you know, I'm a firm believer everything change is good and everything happens when it's ready. So.
Yeah, I think that's a really good mentality. And again, I think that's something that separates like the martial arts from combat sports a lot of the time as well. A lot of the combat sport like focus people that have just come up in just combat sports, and they don't have that like long-term growth mentality, which I think is cultivated a lot more in more traditional martial arts, especially like the kickboxing style that you do that's come from like all the Japanese backgrounds and things, and have evolved obviously to freestyle kickboxing. But I think that gets lost a lot of the time. There can be a lot more like ego in the combat sports world. Absolutely.
And you know what? It's because I possess both combat sports and martial arts. I understand both. You need that ego to propel you to want to win. You have to win, you know, to prove yourself. Because if you've not got to prove yourself, then why are you getting in the cage? Why are you gonna risk your health? Why are you gonna sell yourself because you've got to sell tickets or whatever to do this. If you're not the best, if you're not arrogant enough to, you know what I mean, put it on the line. But at the same time, it's not the be all or end all. You know, it's not, combat sports is not for everybody. Practicing combat sports is not for everybody. Watching combat sports is not for everybody. Do you know what I mean? Martial arts is the same thing. So there's some martial artists that just are not compatible to combat sports.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fortunate to have the best of both worlds and understand the best of both worlds. And what I advocate is what I believe is the best of both. You know, I believe I've got a healthy balance teaching people martial arts. I've also got a healthy balance in trying to prepare people to compete. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, there's a difference. But once you understand where you're at, or you understand where your clients or members are at and where they want to be, you can manage their expectations. You know, the better the devil you know I'm a firm believer of it. So if you want combat sports, go to combat sports, and this is what you've got to find. You're going to find this, that, the other. If you're prepared for that and you want that, cool, this is the place for you. If it's not, I think you should do this. And if you want to dabble, then dabble, but there's no pressure. Maybe you've got a well-paid job, a career job, and maybe you don't like getting hit. No problem. Do this. Have a competition when you're ready. No problem. Do you know what I mean? We can manage people, and that's what a good coach can do. Manage people's expectations, but also work towards their goals in a realistic manner. And combat sports is for some people, and martial arts is for others.
And what's your take on then whether people, like a newcomer comes to the gym that doesn't really know, like, is combat sports for me? Is it not? Are you a fan of, like, everyone should get in and try it once, or just go with what you feel? Like, what's your position? My position is I believe I'm a prime example of that. I don't like fighting. I know I'm a professional fighter, but I don't like fighting. I like competing. Okay. Do you know what I mean? I like it. And how do you know if you don't try? At the same time, I ask myself this question: how far can I go? I will never know unless I try. Do you know what I mean? So I came into martial arts because I got jumped. I got jumped literally outside the 1Q road, just outside. You can see it from the station. I got jumped, yeah. Friday night, Monday morning, boom, I was in this gym. Do you know what I mean? And the rest is history. But I came here as self-defense because I'm not going to be a victim. But I enjoyed it. Coach said, "You want to give this a go?" "Oh, yeah, all right." "Oh, there's a competition. Guys are going. You're doing well against those guys. They're competing. Do you want to go?" "Yeah, all right." And then it gives, yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. They got out of hand from there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you give somebody a choice, the red pill or the blue pill, do you know what I mean? Try it. If you don't like it, cool. Right, we'll stick to this. But you'll never know, you know. And if I listen to my parents, or my mum specifically, like from the get-go, I would be doing this from young as self-defense. Do you know what I mean? As martial art. But also, I wouldn't be competing. She said, "What, you're gonna fight?" I didn't say fight. I said, "Do self-defense." You know what I mean? But no, it is what it is. You know, dip your toes in. If you like it, go knee deep. If you like it, waist deep. If you like it again, go full under. Let's go. But if you don't, no problem. Go to the other bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good mentality as well. Like, I think I'm of a similar opinion. Obviously, you actually coach people, so it matters more. But I agree on that front. And then I'm quite interested that you started. So was it this gym that you started at?
Yeah,
literally?
Yeah. Wow. This building. No, it was this building. It was called Combat Company at the time, different management and ownership and stuff. But it was this very building where I took my first step in the martial arts dojo, and I'm part of the furniture now. I'm here literally every day, doing what I love, you know, and I feel people get a lot from it. And it's Elevate Martial Arts now. This is where I do my teaching. This is what, you know. And I do my training at London Shoot Fighters. I'm training all over this gym, that gym, getting what I can. You know, I love it, man.
And how do you find it at London Shoot Fighters? Because I've heard a lot about them. I've never visited, but I've heard very, very good things.
Yeah,
they churn out some killers.
They do. It's do or die. It's kill or be killed, pretty much. But that's the mentality that one needs to pursue a career in combat sports.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm there for my combat sports, my MMA. my competition. When I do 3rd of August, it's through them, that mentality, like, I'm on. And I've got to be arrogant. I've got to believe my own hype. Like, are you going to believe me? You're going to buy a ticket if you don't think I'm the man. Like, you know what I mean? You know, and so there's that. And I like it. And you got to be in that room. There's some world-class athletes there. You got to be in that room. And if you're not in that training room, how do you, like, not necessarily with street fighters, but anywhere else, like if you're not in that room, how you get exactly? How are you gonna benchmark yourself against other world-class athletes or other people that are breaking barriers in their field? You've got to be in that room. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. But to beat the best, you got to be with the best. Do you know what I mean? I just made that up. Nathan Jones, 2024. No, but yeah, you got to be in that room.
And at what point do you sort of decide, right, now is the time, like, I've got to step it up, I've got to go find like a London Shoot Fighters or whatever competitive environment it is. At what point do you go, right, like, I'm in, I've got to take this serious, I've got to be in that room?
Yeah, so an analogy I'll give you is like, look at like a crayfish or like a crab, not crab, like a shellfish or anyone, like, I don't even know what the type of animal it is, but they go find a new shell.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so once you're the big fish in the little pond, that's the time to move on. Once you can turn up to training without any like motivation or any drive or questions, what am I going to learn, or how can I do this or do that, fix this, fix that, you've got to move on, evolve. You know, for me, I was getting feedback from my competitions. Okay, guys are better now. They're doing this, so what do I need to do? I need to step it up. Or for me, it was like, well, okay, I'm training my jiu-jitsu, I'm smashing everybody. All right, I need to go to a better gym. I need to go with the other guys so I can, you know what I mean? I need to
get smashed again.
Yeah, you know, there's always a bigger fish. And that's where you got to put your ego to the side.
Yeah.
You know, you got to put your ego to the side and get smashed. Not every single round, not every single day, but you need to be that small person, the small fish to evolve, to grow. Otherwise, who's going to show you your mistakes? Okay, you might know it theoretically, but who's actually going to put you on your bum, put you on your back, and give you a whooping?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Learn how to, you know what I mean? The old school way, like, well, get up, like, you know. Yeah, that's yeah. So you kind of will know when you get complacent. The same way people in life, in jobs, they're bored of work. Oh yeah, all right, I've got to go to work. Like, I'm fortunate enough for my training to become my work.
Yeah,
and I use it with the same. I have the same motivations to want to go bigger, to want to go better. You know, and until I get to that point of not wanting to or not caring, then I'll pack it up.
Yeah,
and I'm done.
Well, that's fair enough. But I like that. Yeah, that it makes sense when you say it like that. But yeah, I agree with that. But interestingly as well, you said when you started, I know I'm jumping back a bit.
Yeah,
so
no
I'm still
problem.
picking apart your initial.
Yeah, all good, man.
Statement.
Well, I'm glad you listened. Really.
But so you started. You walked in off the gym and you started all of these disciplines at the same time. Kickboxing or Muay Thai, I think you said, to start with, grappling, everything. So how did you find balance in that? Do you have periods of like, right, I'm really honing in on my striking, or I'm really honing in grappling, or is it all the same?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know, like, it's like when children are at school, you know, kids are at school, you do your GCSEs. How many GCSEs do you do? Well, there you go.
I don't know, yeah.
You do
quite a few.
more GCSEs than one would do like different disciplines in MMA. And then you do more like you're studying X amount of time. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it was just fighting, learning the game.
Okay.
I was just hungry for information, and it was almost like I needed it because I was getting beaten up by guys half my size. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like literally half my size, half my age. Like what? Give me this. This is some good shit.
Yeah.
This is what I need. You know what I mean? This is what I'm missing in my life. So yeah, and then for me, how I honed my skills was depending on what I was competing in, depending on who I was fighting against. Once I started doing MMA, okay, this guy's a grappler, right? So let's do this, let's do that. All right, these guys from good striking pedigree, right? Cool. Let's, you know, and it just became me working on different aspects of my game to suit who I was fighting against, to the point where not that I became complete, but I got myself to a certain standard where you know, I was well-rounded, or I am well-rounded. Cool, right now I'm fighting this guy. Now where do I want to excel? Where do I want to take this to?
Right.
And then part of me, this is where I take my arrogance comes into it. Well, it's about me, it's the Nathan show. I'm bag and tag. Do you know what I mean? I'ma fuck you up. like Brad Wheeler, I'ma fuck you up. I'm taking it here, I'm taking it there.
Yeah.
It's about me. Where do I want to take it? Cool. Now let me work my skills. That's the mentality. The actuality is probably like the other way around, right? Where are people capitalizing on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me work that as a weakness, or that's their strength. Cool. Let me fortify my defenses so I can keep it to where I want it to go. You know, that's not something one can do on their own. That's something one does within a team of good coaches, a team of good training partners.
Yeah.
You know, it is an individual sport, but it's a team effort. You can't do, if you want to progress here, like legitimately, you need a team.
Yeah. Okay.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You do seem to know what you're talking about.
I do. I've been around, man.
But yeah, I suppose training for specific opponents must be always sort of the challenge, particularly with you've got so many different styles. It must be interesting to sort of hone it in. And that's where I've always wondered, because obviously you're high level, you're black belt for jiu-jitsu, black belt for kickboxing. I'm sure you've probably got some other stuff up your sleeve as well. Like
no, I was like yeah. Stop there.
Some Aikido or something.
No.
But
no.
Yeah, and I suppose tailoring it is how much effort do you put into finding out about that person and their game plan versus your strengths and what you want to do. Like you say, you want to make it the Nathan show.
Yeah. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I let my coaches look at my opponent. I try not to read into it. You know, I'm fortunate now to have enough fights, so whoever I fight, there's enough footage or documentation
you're at that sort of level.
Them. Do you know what I mean? You can't hide now. You might, if it's your first amateur fight or first 1 or 2 pro fights, you can hide under the radar. The fight might not be on YouTube, that kind of thing. But I've been around for so long. You know what I mean? It's hard not to, which is a good thing. But it's also, it could be a limitation. But that's why I evolve and I progress and I develop. You know, so and same for my opponents. If I see a fight of theirs 3 months ago, I know I'm not going to see that. I might see traits of it, but they're going to be different. Plus, who they're fighting is different to who I am, so they're going to be tailoring their stuff. So, as soon as I see watch a video, I'm watching an out-of-date version of them, with a different dynamic. So it's not necessarily what I'm going to do. So if I make it about me, then I'm going to give an up-to-date version of me. If that makes sense. Yeah,
it's an element you can control, whereas they could turn around and do something totally different from what they did.
Exactly. So as long as we're aware of what their strengths are or where they want to take it, I work on where I can negate that and keep it to where I want to take it. You know, is how I like to do things. It works for me, because I can do less thinking that way. Yeah. Because you're getting hit in the head, it's like, oh shit, wait, you know, just feel it. You use I try to allow my other senses to take me there. Do you know what I mean? So if I can feel the fight, feel what I have to do, I can see the danger, I can hear the instructions. Do you know what I mean? I can smell the blood. Brad, getting fucked, bro.
Well, we'll snip all of these out for him, just send them directly to him.
Please do tag him in it as well. Why
not? But yeah, I like that as well. And I mean, one thing as well, I wonder now you're at that sort of higher level. obviously you had that mentality of like, I'm competing every couple of weeks, like I'll do jiu-jitsu one week and then kickboxing or whatever, and Now you're at that high level. Has that mentality changed at all? Do you like to have a certain amount of time between fights?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I was young and single at the time. Do you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, cool, yeah. Look, I'm got 2 kids with my partner of 12 years, and I'm loving life right now. So I think my life is different to what it was.
Yeah.
And I recover differently to what I used to. But at the same time, my life goals have changed as well. It's not just about proving I'm the best in the world. It's also about being a good father. It's also about laying foundations, not just for my children, but leaving my legacy and leaving something, whether it might be building, starting a gym or a club or whatever, or developing myself as a martial artist so I can teach better classes. Do you know what I mean? I'm still working, whereas before it was just like, right, cool, got limited amount of time. I'm not a victim. Let's go. Let's have some fun.
Let's scrap.
It was literally like that. Yeah, fuck it. All right, yeah, whatever. Now it's like, right, cool. I've got to think about my health because it's a contact sport, a full contact sport, and a lot of these young bucks overlook that sometimes. They think, oh yeah, lights, camera, action, ring girls, and it is like that. Only if you get the gold medal. Like, if you ain't winning, you know what I mean. You ain't getting nothing. It's a fickle sport at that. But you've got to think about your health. So I am still doing professional development, me and myself as a coach, but also with my business. Trying to lay some lasting bits for me, life after fighting, because it is a shelf life sport.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be doing this forever. And when I finish, I want to go out when I'm ready, not because my health makes it.
Yeah,
it means that I have to stop.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is finite how long you can sort of be like fighting at a high level, particularly like you say. But pro MMA has got so many variables and so much damage that you can potentially take. Like there's only so long that you can do that.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter how good you are. It's a shelf life. So I'm enjoying it whilst I can, and I'm having a real good time. Do you think your like high volume of experience when you were younger has played a big factor in sort of how you fight now? Like you gained a lot of experience over like quite a focused amount of time, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's that is definitely an advantage. Like at first, it was a bit like I'll just get all this knowledge, all this feedback. Yeah. I needed time for it to consolidate, and I think the time over like lockdown when things stopped, and I first daughter, I didn't fight for a long time, and I haven't fought for that long. That as often in the last few years. More because I just wanted to get better as a martial artist, consolidate my lessons, put things in place. Like it's not, for me, it's not a rush. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Whereas when I first started, I thought it was a sprint because of the time.
Yeah.
Look, if you train smart, and this is out for the young bucks as well, if you train smart and listen to your coaches who have the experience and give you the correct advice, you've got as much time as you want. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be smart with this. And I can't emphasize that enough. It pains me when I see these young guys with naivety, as I was as well, but just not become desperate, but just out of desperation and naivety. No, you need a good team with a good pedigree to give you the right advice, to advise you to train the correct way, and that will move you on as and when you're ready.
So when you say train smart, what sort of things are you talking about? Is that in terms of like strategies? Is that like strength conditioning and health stuff? Yeah,
everything. Train smart with your rest, recovery. Train smart with training the right things. S&C to complement your attributes. Enough sparring, but not too much sparring. Correct sparring, not just silly like scrapping the gym. You can have a war in the gym, fine, but are you getting paid for it? are you able to? Is it helping you to the fight? If it's not, why are you gonna have a war for? You know what I mean? If the war's to help you prepare, then that's different because there's the end goal there. There's the functionality there. But if it's for the sake of it, like, all right, cool. You know, yeah, you got to be smart, taking the right fights. You know, it's a business, so these promoters aren't your friend.
Yeah.
They want you to fight. They're not your friend. They just want someone to help somebody else, a ticket seller or whatever. Take the right fights at the right time. So when I look at my record, and there's some L's there, L's that I should have won, L's that I could have won, L's that why did I take that fight?
Right.
But I've got the experience now, so when I'm coaching my guys, I can give experience, an informed decision, an experienced decision, an answer, advice, guidance. Do you know what I mean? And that is priceless.
Yeah.
Getting somebody who knows what they're talking about, who's been there, done that, learn from my mistakes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So train smart.
Train smart. So if you have a new student that comes in, they're like, right, I want to get it on. I know I want to fight. I want to do MMA, whatever it is. Do you advocate doing anything like what you did, where you're like, look, let's just go get a bunch of experience in the first 6 months, a year, whatever?
Yeah.
Or you start train that smart from the get-go?
It depends who it is.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's somebody that's already training 3-4 times a week and they're on their training, they're going watching videos or coming asking questions. Yeah, coach, I want to fight. Okay, cool. If there's someone who just walks off the street, yeah, man, I train UFC, I want to fight. Like, yeah, what? Yeah, when am I going to fight? Like, do you know what I mean? Let's get that distinction. You can sift a lot of the bullshit from the trees before they even start this conversation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like a previous guest of yours, we had Louis Racouche on. He's a prime example. He was here training 3-4 times a week. He was on it. He had that enthusiasm. He was asking the right questions. Turned around and said to me, Nathan, yo, I like what you're doing. I want a piece of that. I was like, all right, if you want a piece of it, like, I want to see this, that. Don't come back, like, and then we'll talk. And what he said was, Nathan, I want to fight. I want to do what you do. You're good looking, you're handsome, you're like. Yeah,
that sounds like it.
No, he said, look, Nathan, I want to fight. How can I fight? Give me a fight. Because at the time I was organising competitions for the guys. I said, look, Louis, I want you to do, before you have an MMA fight, you need to have a boxing fight or striking a competition. You need to have a jiu-jitsu grappling competition. Whatever it is, I want you to get ring craft experience before we put you in a full contact fight. Because you do get some MMA into clubs, but they're few and far between. Yeah. It's a lot easier to get 2 boxing fights or jiu-jitsu comps in which, if MMA is your thing, then it doesn't matter if you lose a boxing fight. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you lose jiu-jitsu. So, and that's not what do you know what I mean? Yeah. That takes a lot of pressure off. And obviously, you're in it to win it. You're not just going to... Yeah. Come for, you know, oh yeah, I was there. No, let's do it. So have a good, let's take the pressure out and let's have some fun. The purpose of us doing this is to get that experience to help us get this, you know. So I want people training a minimum of 3-4 times a week. I want to see people competing in their single disciplines. If you want to fight MMA, don't just train MMA. That's wrong. There'll be too many holes in your game. There's not enough MMA classes in the weekly schedule, for example, even if you were training 5 times a week for you to do MMA. Even the MMA gyms have single discipline classes. Yes,
yeah,
so you
absolutely.
need to train your you don't have to necessarily go in a gi. You don't necessarily have to train just waist, above the waist, kickboxing, or no headshots, no punches to the head if it's some forms of karate or taekwondo. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But you do need to have appreciation of the single disciplines. Yeah, you know,
hold your own in these different fields.
Absolutely. And not only that, you need to do it in a set time. So if you want to fight, cool. You need to be able to block yourself for a fight camp, so we can up your training. If you don't have capacity for that, well then just stick to the grassroots stuff for now. And then, you know what I mean? But if you want to, all right, cool. You want to fight? All right, cool. When do you want to fight? All right. Before then, this competition, that competition. We can earmark it out, and then we can work towards that end goal, which is the fight, which is that crescendo. You know, when it's like you put it all together. But everybody's different, because you might walk into the gym and already have some form of experience.
Yeah.
Or you might walk into the gym and you might be either really big, or really light, or really young, where the talent pool is quite varied and not as deep as, like, say, a male 25, 75 to 85 kilos.
Yeah.
There's loads of those guys.
Fucking loads.
Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you were, for example, like a 55, 60 kilo, 40-year-old woman, for example, how many are there of those?
Yeah,
with the
you
same,
start to comp. There's 2-3 people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like 120 kilo, like 18-year-old. Or even younger, like, and they exist, but there's not many out there. If you're 18, we're not gonna go put you with a fully grown man with their man strength. And vice versa, if you're an older person, we're not gonna go put you with some whippersnapper who's like, can recover without sleeping on a hangover. Do you know what I mean? Like, we gotta be smart about this and be individualized. We gotta give you a personalized program, and a good coach can do that.
Yeah, I think that, because you're right, there's so much variety between individuals. I know I keep throwing like blanket questions at you, but it's an interesting one to consider, and I'm always quite curious about how you, as both someone that's a coach, but also as like a martial artist and a competitor yourself, still an active competitor as well, makes a lot of difference in terms of how you take that and translate that to sort of the next generation that comes up as well. It's always interesting. Do you adapt your style and like your teaching very much in terms of what you do? Because, like, for example, obviously we did a gi class today. Do you change your game very much? Because as a jiu-jitsu black belt, obviously you've got good gi and no gi skills, mad no gi skills. And,
keep going.
But
No, seriously, keep going.
But does your game overlap much? Do you have very much like the same style, gi and no gi, or you have different things?
Yeah. It works in my favor at times, and it works against me at other times. Do you know what I mean? For example, Bruce Lee, be that person that practices that one kick 10,000 times, or do you want to be a jack of all trades?
Yeah.
So there's that element to it, but also there's that variety and variability toward it, where I've got knowledge and experience in all those other areas. So, all right, if you're like this, all right, cool. Like, you know what I mean? If you're more of a technical fighter, not really like, don't have any like, you're not mad strong or mad fast or mad fit. All right, let's be technical. Jiu-jitsu might be for you. Or all right, cool. Let's slow them down. You grippy, you like rock climbing, for example. All right, cool. You know what I mean? Or you might, hey, I just want to bang, bro. Like, all right, cool. Well, let's go for full contact. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't put. Look, there's pros and cons to everything. And because I'm a mixed martial artist, I appreciate that there's pros and cons to everything. Yeah. So, like I said, you need to be part of a team. I'm part of a team. My coaching team is here at Elevate, and I'm part of a team. So I'm never going to be your one and only coach. What I say is not gospel. What I say can complement what you want to do, but it's not the definitive be all or end all. Yeah. Take what you like, leave what you don't. You know, make sure you tag me if you use my shit. You know what I mean? But other than that, like, cool, this is what works for me, this is what I'm about. And I try and teach from that point of view.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I always wonder with MMA guys, especially that are high level at jiu-jitsu as well, because sometimes you'll see people that will have like crazy guards and things, and you're like, well, you probably wouldn't do that in MMA, but they can still compete with, like, again, you on Polaris, you have, like, you can compete with grapplers as well.
Yeah, keep going.
But
keep going.
But having that like ability to play totally different styles is always very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting, and like I said, like at this stage or at this level of my competition, I can't just go, yeah, cool, right, I'm doing gi now, I'm going to gi, yeah, right, cool, yeah, I'm going to go do kickboxing now. No, I need specific training for a camp. Yeah, I keep my base level fitness and conditioning there. So if I need to jump in here, do a 10-minute round, as it is on Polaris, cool. If I need to go do a 3-minute boxing round, well, then I can. Like, but at the same time, I would need to specifically train a period of time. I have done it before. Like, I think it was 2018, and this is the gospel truth. I did I went to the Euros, European no-gi, in Rome, fought, won. Yeah, and then like literally the next month, I went to Greece and I did like full contact and light contact kickboxing, you know. And then the next month, then I came back and I had an MMA fight. You know what I mean? That was Brad Wheeler, ironically. But I think I'm pretty sure it was 2018. But I did all these things, but I don't have the time to do it now. You know what I mean? Like, and also, I don't want to do it now. I need to hone in my skills. I need to be a specialist. And with a shelf life sport like MMA, MMA is my thing now. I might dabble in grappling here or there, but it literally is to help my MMA. And that's what I am. That's my brand. I'm an MMA fighter. So anything I do will be to help my MMA.
And do you teach like MMA classes as well, or do you do, like you were talking about before, little bits of, you know, I'll teach, like you did boxing obviously today. And
yeah. So I'll teach a bit of everything, bit of kickboxing, bit of boxing.
When you say kickboxing as well, do you do like more MMA style as well, or you're talking still freestyle kickboxing?
A bit of both. Okay. A bit of both. It's more amalgamated to like K1 style.
Yeah.
But I can teach freestyle kickboxing. It's not a problem. But again, not that I'm a jack of all trades kind of guy, but I'll know it and I can get you to a certain level. But if you want to become a specialist, you need to go to a specialist.
Yeah, right.
I'm very open and honest with that, and I accept that as well. I never coach somebody and expect them to be under my wing all the time. I don't want dependence. Like, not that I need dependence, but before I was a fighter, I was a youth worker. Yeah. Youth workers, like, they build people up, they send them on their way. You know what I mean? Get somebody cool. I'm very much like that. I see myself as a development coach, as opposed to a performance coach. I can help you perform into MMA, into what I do. I'm a specialist in MMA. Let's go with MMA. You know, or if you want to do jiu-jitsu or you want to strike, cool, I can get you to the point where I'm at, which is still a very decent level, much higher than your average. But then that's where you want to go, you want to push boundaries and barriers in single disciplines or whatever, you got to go to those specialist coaches, definitely.
Yeah, I like that, because there's always like you say, that there's always like a bigger fish, and if you're like, right, I've fallen in love with freestyle kickboxing, it's like, all right, I can take you to that point, but then this guy is like the best at freestyle kickboxing.
No, absolutely. You've got to be in that room where the other guys are.
That's it.
Not here.
Find that room.
100.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. And so in terms of your own growth and development from here, so you said obviously you've got your upcoming fight, and then have you got plans, ambitions, what you want to do again?
See where the wind goes. You know, this is it's show business. Yeah, it's a spectator sport. It is show business. It's entertainment, so it's very fickle. All I need to do and focus on is getting an impressive finish, preferably in the first round.
Yeah,
we don't get paid. We don't get paid overtime out here. Get a finish, and then see where it goes. My plans are to win. My plans are to make a run for a world title. That's what I want.
Nice.
That's what I want.
Can't say more than that, to be fair. I mean, that's a good goal to have. There's not much more beyond that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that'll be very, very, very doable for you.
Yes.
Well, I know it's late, so I don't want to keep you too long. We're actually coming up on the hour already.
Yeah, it's Nando's o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. There
you know what I mean? I'm hungry.
So before we disappear, I'll put all of the links to your profiles and where they can buy tickets and stuff for you before that. But is there anything in particular you want to point people at? I mean, obviously you're coaching here, you do privates as well? Yeah,
absolutely. Here at Elevate Martial Arts. Yeah, follow me, man. Follow me on social media, Mr. Bag and Tag. You know?
Where's that from, by the way? Do you know what? I always want to ask people about their nicknames. Is that something you come up with? A coach gives it to you? Where does that come from?
Yeah, very rare. I made it up myself.
I like it.
I literally made it up myself. I was like, I'll back him and I'll tag him.
I like that.
And nobody else has got that name.
No.
So whereas, you know, it might be KO or it might be Lights Out or I don't know,
something basic.
Generic name. Generic but good. But you know, No, Mr. Bag and Tag. It's Bag and Tag, but I put a Mr. to show that I mean business.
Yeah. Very professional.
This is what I'm about, you know. It just goes to happen that I do have bags under my eyes as well. So my mum was like, "Is that why you call Bag and Tag? You got bags under your eyes. Get some sleep." You know what I mean? But
that's very mum answer.
Yeah.
But sorry, yeah.
No.
Where people can find you?
Yeah, Mr. Bag and Tag on social media. My coaching page is In the Bag PTC. So I put all my coaching. I like to separate the two because not that I'm two entities, but I am Coach Nathan, the coach, and I am Mr. Bag and Tag, the fighter. So I like to separate the content because people have interest in different things.
Different things,
what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm about. I'm passionate about what I do, you know. So yeah, follow it if you want more stuff, and if not, look out for your next episode. Whoever you get on, I'm sure they'll be good. Not as good as me, but they'll be good enough to get on.
Close second. Perfect. All right. Well, Nathan, I really appreciate your time.
No, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, especially like I say in fight camp and after hours and stuff. I really appreciate that. But thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed that. Please make sure to support Nathan, whether that's online. You can find all the links to his Instagram profile in whatever platform you're listening to. It's in the description. Or if you want to buy a ticket, go and watch him fight. It's going to be a great one. You will be able to watch online or live, whatever works for you. Just check it out. He is in for a very good show, I have no doubt. Seems like it's going to be a fun one. I can't wait to see it. Make sure you support him and make sure you support the podcast at CWAMA Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, whatever works for you. Please make sure to support us and don't forget to tune in for the next one. See you then.